So what we've covered thus far is we've looked at the S, the I, the M of our simple acronym. The S being surveys, and we've talked about the 5 different types of surveys and or questionnaires that we would recommend or suggest that you use to get the right internal information. Potentially followed up by our I of simple, which is individual and team feedback, if and when needed. The last one which is getting market feedback, which is from customers and or your members and basically who do you either sell or provide your service to, and getting the right information and feedback from there. So that's data, and that's information about that. So the P, the L and the E is when you really start to make possible changes internally. And for us, one of the most important parts of any change process, which comes off the back of any of the things that we've done in the S and the I and the M, is the P element. And let me explain what that is. The P stands for Personal Development and Engagement Framework. Okay, PDE. And what do we mean by that? Is what we realize when we do and run, but we've run hundreds of surveys with hundreds of organizations. And what we know is that off the back of those surveys, we do know that some of important disciplines and important habits are sometimes not where they need to be. And before you do anything, before you try to change anything with an organization, it's about focusing on the things which are going to make the biggest difference. And for us, changing disciplines and habits are where it starts. And it almost always starts, interestingly, with how a business interacts and talks with its people. Now, I'm going to share with you, and you'll probably roll your eyes when you hear it, but the appraisal process and or the annual review process and or the performance review process, whatever you call that process internally, if you are like probably over 80% of the organizations that we work with, it is not working. It is not fit for purpose, and generally speaking, you need to scrap it because it's just not working and helping your business. And interestingly, that is usually down to the fact that there is not a regular, frequent, dare I say it, slightly informal conversation happening between your management group and staff. And until you get that habit in place, all the other things that you might want to change, you'll struggle to do. So that's why we have this P, which is we have created a brand new framework, which effectively, for most of our clients, we just say, scrap your annual review or annual appraisal process. It might be the most elaborately beautiful thing. It might be a nice, beautiful piece of software. It could be these lots of forms that you fill in and hand back to HR, but unfortunately, it just doesn't work. What you're hoping to get out of it, which is happy, more engaged staff that are fully engaged within their development, in developing themselves, educating themselves, a management team that's really coaching their people and all that kind of stuff. I'm afraid the reality tells us that in a lot of organizations that's just simply not happening. And so you can either, dare I say it, bury your head in the sand and say, no, we're fine, or you actually just say, okay, we might need to think about doing something different. And if you are, the biggest principle is have good conversations, honest conversations, regularly and informally. Yes, I'm not saying that you don't record what's said, absolutely, but we have a framework which we share with our clients that we help and teach our clients to do, which all the managers feel much more happy with and much more comfortable with. The employees, as importantly, also feel happier and more comfortable with, and most importantly, it actually helps the business head in the right direction. So that is a really important discipline. It's a habit that we strongly suggest you engage in, because any of the other cool and clever stuff that you might be thinking about ain't gonna happen until you get that bit right. So that is the P of our simple acronym, the Personal Development and Engagement Framework. And if you'd like to hear more about that, start the conversation with us about that, then please just fill in our contact form, pick up the phone. We always try and get back to you within 24 hours and start the conversation. There'll be no pressure from us. We'll just start a conversation and see where it goes. And if it's something that you feel we can help you with, then we'd be more than happy to help you with that. So look forward to it.